Hello everybody, it is your old pal Living Dead, and I am back with another WoD playthrough. This time I'm giving a look to a collection of maps by Handsome Fridge. It's called Handsome Hellscapes, as you can see here. This is Volume 1. It contains 6 maps in total, and it is a retrospective collection of Handsome Fridge's first year's worth of mapping, more or less. So it seems to be intended to serve the purpose of just kind of seeing how far he's come in this first year. We're playing in GZ Doom. I think the maps have perhaps mixed compatibility, so I'm just playing on default compatibility. Playing in GZ Doom, Ultraviolence. Let's just jump into it. Now, I played Tapestry of Stones on this channel before. Something over here. Okay. And that is Handsome Fridge's most recent release, I believe. Chronologically, I assume it kind of comes before a lot of these as well. And, well, I certainly had a few things to kind of nitpick about on that. It's ultimately a pretty interesting WoD. A nice journey, custom music, which this one also contains quite a bit of. Okay, this is bad. Could have been a lot worse, I guess. So, you know, since these maps were made over the course of a year and some change, perhaps my feedback won't be quite as prescient to the author as in other circumstances, but that's okay, you know. Not everything has to be, you know, specifically for somebody taking immediate feedback from. This is just my commentary and some of my thoughts on it. I didn't even see what the name of this map was. I should probably do that. It is called Unwelcome, and it contains 196 monsters and 3 secrets. And, yeah, so far off to an interesting start. Some nice surprises here. You can definitely tell where some of the texturing and the design is a little bit more basic. It just kind of... if you put a screenshot of this on the internet and said this was somebody's first map, I don't think too many people would be all that surprised by it. Just lots of little details that immediately kind of clue you into that. You know, just the kind of weird contrast and the... I say contrast, I don't mean like brightness contrast. I mean contrast between types of textures here. The, you know, the wood fence texture and then the random stone texture. This is a straight stone hallway. You know, there's not much attempt given to make it look like a natural formation, so to speak. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it is a little bit on the basic looking side. Absence of like bordering textures that you would probably use when you transition from one texture to another, especially when they mark a stark difference from one another. So just as a very basic tip to newer mappers, if you are watching this, one thing you would do here is you would implement some sort of border texture. So even the door track texture could probably work for that here, because this was a door that raised, or you know, like the metal textures that kind of border these, and you would essentially just make sure that there's something that stands in between these two major textures, just to kind of help visually break it up. So then going from that to like you know, the metal wall textures, although it does kind of have the appearance of like, you know, kind of being a falling apart tech base of sorts, I suppose. And then one other thing that majorly stands out to me is just the fact that the door and the red key indicator is all just flush with the wall. A lot of times what you'll want to do is just reseed that back about 8 to 16 map units, and that just kind of gives it a little bit more of a texture, if you will, a physical sense of it. But, you know, we're not here to necessarily nitpick this map. I'm just kind of calling out some basic things. And also to say with, you know, perhaps as a vote of confidence that Tapestry of Stones shows quite a bit of learning and execution of more practiced mapping techniques than this one does. So, you know, what I mean to say by that is we already have evidence that that Handsome Fridge has learned quite a lot from this and come a good way as a mapper. You know, just other weird stuff like how small that little doorway is. I find scale is one of those things that newer mappers tend to kind of struggle with, and so things that should not be like it's just, you know, awkwardly really small. And I feel like, you know, you could make it whatever size you want, but I think that there is kind of like an unspoken sort of well, I don't even know if it's unspoken, but there is definitely a kind of design language that you could say separates those proficient in mapping from those who are not. And it's things like, you know, you might make this like 64 units wide. I don't think it is quite. It's whatever width Doom guys hitboxes. Is it 32? So like, you know, you might typically make something like this 64 wide at a minimum, and you know, the fact that the textures are not aligned from the verticals and stuff, just lots of, you know, little things. Again, we see, oh, okay, here, Super Shock. I almost missed that. But a very interesting map to explore so far. That appears to be. I'm seeing all these suggestions that things could potentially be secrets, but I'm not seeing anything. So let's go ahead and hit this switch, and then I have a feeling, okay, maybe that. I thought maybe that that thing I noticed on the auto map would have revealed a door. What I mean is this blue wall here definitely makes you think that that is some sort of secret. It could be, and I just haven't figured out how to open it. I'm not. It's another thing that tends to be standing on a box. What else do we have? Anything? Some cool attempts at sort of mood here. The lighting in this room is being helped a little bit by the features I have turned on for GZ Doom. Otherwise, the lighting is a bit flat. That's okay. Is that a secret? Nope. Do have some nice contrast though in this area, and there's even a, I can't tell if that's a skybox. I don't know what texture that is. Maybe it's just like the box texture or something, but it gives the illusion of being exposed to the outside, so that's good. And then, you know, you can see the contrast in the lighting here. Lots of cool decorations. Ooh, that was not something I expected. I wonder if that was a script from UDMF. Making a monster teleport in instantly. I didn't even realize I had that. I usually play with this HUD. I believe those cacodemons were just... yeah, this must be UDMF because the monster count went up by 3. It was, what, 197? Dangerous open area of hitbox or hit scanners. Hitboxers! Alright, taking out this Revenant is going to be a bit tricky with the armaments I have, especially with Spectres being down there. Oh, okay, it wasn't too bad. I thought they were just going to keep soaking up the auto-aim. Plenty of ammo here, so I'm not one of those people that's just going to always switch to the regular shotgun every time I say, oh, I got to be economical here. When I'm close to topped out on shells, let's just use the super shotgun. There's no reason to switch. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. If I go down here, will I be killed? I don't think you're allowed to crouch or jump. How do I get out of here? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it's a bit of an idiosyncrasy, I suppose. The fact that it just randomly teleports you. That's definitely kind of gives off vibes of new mapper, at least in my opinion. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Is that stuck up forever? I guess I'm not going to be able to get up there. So, yeah, I guess we're going to go back now. Actually, I don't... That's a secret, yep. All right. Yeah, so the Caco's teleporting in, the monster count going up, and then again with the Hell Knights, that is something that you can accomplish with Z-Doom scripting ACS UDMF format, basically. You can, I believe, spawn a monster from nothing. As in, it doesn't exist in a monster closet anywhere. It doesn't exist in the map until it's summoned into the teleporter. But it will make the monster count inaccurate. And if you've ever played a UDMF map where that happened, you probably know what I'm talking about, at least the symptom of it. Where was the red key door? It was back this way. So I gotta go back through the poison. Did I go all the way through here? I think I'm going to. This might be a mistake, and I haven't saved yet. Let me do that. I realize I have not saved yet. So that was kind of a waste. That was a bit wasteful of me, but, you know, whatever. I assume I'm going to get some health where I'm going. Oh, no. Ah, I see now. Okay, that makes sense how that kind of connects together. So I wasted a lot of my blue armor, but, you know, I'm not really that worried about it. This doesn't seem to be a particularly challenging map so far. Uh-oh, how do I get out of here? Oh. A secret super shotgun, okay. Alright, what am I missing? I've certainly forgotten or overlooked something. See, this takes you here. This takes you back here. Maybe I'll go back this way real fast and see. Did I miss a portal somewhere? Nice. That was worth going back for, just to kind of get back my supplies that I wasted. Oh, there's a door here. Ah, interesting. This is the door from the beginning. So that's a cool, excuse me, cool little trick there is just tying the map back together in that way. I think a good technique in general is just when the map clicks back together in a surprising or unpredictable way. And of course, you know, the player does have the benefit of looking at the auto map. They could tell, but I think a lot of times people are not just looking at the auto map all the time to spoil where they should go next or what things are going to happen next. I think most of the time people use it when they get lost or when they're looking for secrets. So, you know, just to suddenly be like, oh, cool, I'm back in that hallway from the beginning is a good touch. I was wondering what this yellow key was going to amount to, because to be completely honest, I do tend to find it a bit superfluous when you open a door and then there's like just immediately a key to unlock another door right behind it. Interesting, just a block hanging out here. Uh-oh. This is a very, anytime I see like an interesting like maze like this reminds me a lot of like IWAD stuff. A very cramped maze with like monsters that can come in and kind of hunt you, and you'd see something like this in either a Sandy Peterson map or a Ramiro map. I mean, they made the majority of maps for the Doom games, but you know. I get vibes of like something from some Knee Deep in the Dead almost, or from I don't know, the Chasm and the little like slime room maze. I don't feel like mazes is something that you see a lot in modern Doom mapping, so... And even though that's not necessarily a maze in the... You know, it's not that hard to navigate, but it's just a little bit bewildering. Oh, wasn't expecting that at all. So a berserk pack right after you find... Or right after you find a chainsaw is a bit of an odd thing. It's like I said, lots of just slightly strange choices that is very, you know, not endemic, that sounds weird. Indicative of novice mapping. And again, Handsome Fridge has learned quite a lot very clearly from his first year of mapping. Tapestry of Stones is both a very large work and also a fairly competent one. There's a lot of interesting ideas in it. It's got several rooms that are very cool looking. What's this here? Ah, that's helpful. Well, that's challenging in a different way. You fall into that pit, I assume that's game over. Ammo's starting to be a bit of a concern. Caco's down there? You coming up, Mr. Caco? Oh. Oof. Good old Startan. You see, it's like almost like the lesson was sort of like picked up on partially through the mapping process. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to change from the vine texture here to Startan. Maybe I should put some border textures in here. It is a little odd to use not like a door track texture or something that serves the same purpose here. But it's like that detail was kind of maybe realized like partway through mapping. That's like, oh, I should use these border textures. Although then in other circumstances, you have things like this where it's not necessarily quite as egregious. What I would have probably tried to do if I was doing it this way myself was align the texture so that this this line right here serves as sort of a border, and it kind of serve that purpose. I don't think it's quite as good as using a border texture, but it can work depending on what you're using. I want all this stuff here. Another mank, huh? Oh, 2 of them. I'm gonna have 300 cells. But I'm gonna try to take these guys out with the shotgun. And there we go. Okay, so where next? Oh. Yeah. See, now this is things getting pretty interesting. I really like this this room total transformation, because that is not something that I was expecting at all. So, you know, it's I won't call it like a fake out or anything to have the walls lower into floors here. Insofar as what I mean by that is it's like it sets your expectations. It's kind of like a version of like highballing someone to get them to accept like a median price that's more in your favor than if you just start with the median price. It's like, oh yeah, this room's going to transform a little bit. These walls are going to drop down into pits. And you're like, oh, that's cool. I wasn't expecting the map to transform. And then when it really, really transforms and these entire negative spaces turn into pits, by the way, then you go, oh shit, that kind of caught me off guard. That was a very interesting way to do that. So I like that implementation quite a bit. That's something you also don't see a lot with newer mappers getting started on things is what I like to call recontextualizing arenas. So, you know, or you could otherwise, you know, possibly refer to it as transforming arenas. But really what I mean by it is taking a space that the player has become familiar with by way of clearing it out of monsters, navigating through it, finding all the switches, the keys, blah, 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 blah. And then at some later point in time, completely changing it. So either you know, transform it in a wholesale way like you did this one, or you, oh God, I can't believe I just took those right to the dome. I know there was a way out of the pit here. Big old wholesale transformation like here. This is a very extreme example of that. Or even something where you know, maybe turn the area, archviles show up and start resurrecting monsters, or you know, just new monsters spawn in, or a couple of things change. This is a very major shift up in it, and it, you know, it feels more or less like a completely different type of arena, even though it's, you know, the same space. Oh, what's the point of that? Should I go up here? Ooh. Okay. Good use of the Revenants. What I often see with newer mappers using Revenants is they just pop a whole bunch of them into an arena that's big and wide and open, and you just circle strafe until you kill them all. And this is a good way to use them in this area with precarious footing. What would have been good in some way is to get the player out here. You know, that did end up happening, but imagine fighting even one or two Revenants where you have to be in the middle of this while they're shooting at you. Could be, you know, very interesting, but there's still quite a lot of thought given to stuff like that. Other things like the trap that opened up and had the Barons and the Hell Knights all in it. I'm not always a big fan of those kinds of traps, just because it just begins to feel a bit like filler in terms of there's not much trap to it. It's just you're approaching the point of no return. Well, that's good to know. There's not much trap to it, because I have the health, or the light amp goggles while I'm talking. It's just monsters show up in front of you and you just gotta shoot at all of them until they die. Whereas, you know, something major happening, like a major milestone or an objective being completed, you know, ideally want to structure that in such a way that the player is kind of caught off guard or trapped or suddenly has a bunch of tricky decisions to make. That one was more or less just what the fuck? Dude, really? I know Archviles have an absurdly high pain chance, but that guy didn't even take any damage. Or didn't flinch even once. Is this it? I don't think so. It's like this here. So then the only thing I have to do really is to just get to a safe distance and just hold down the trigger until I win. There's pretty much no threat of failure with this fight, because it's just a matter of avoiding easy to dodge projectiles and just having the patience to kill all the monsters. There's no real threat there. So, you know, again, I'm not saying that this is something that Handsome Fridge needs to hear immediately. This is just things that okay, that separate, you know, somebody who has experience with mapping with somebody who is getting used to learning how to map. As you do things like that, and it's sort of you know, fight construction is not something that is just that comes first, you know, second nature to people. That is often something that has to be learned through quite a bit of mapping experience. And in Tapestry of Stones, there's definitely a lot more thought given to the way that certain fights are structured. So again, this is not me saying, oh, you know, this is representative of Handsome Fridge's mapping right now. Very clearly, it's not. There's, I think it serves as a very interesting way to look back and see the progress that Handsome Fridge has made. That's cool. So I know that Handsome Fridge uses an AI image generator to create a lot of artwork, and this intermission screen is one of them. I do like the kind of like that glitch noise in the background of that. Sorry, just distracted by the music. It's mixed interestingly in the headphones, which you might not hear if you're not listening in headphones. But there's definitely some channel painting going on with the noises. That's kind of cool. But anyways, I like the AI generated intermission screen with the bow ties just kind of randomly in places that they should not belong. That was it for the first map, Unwelcome. We'll see if I continue to do these or not. I'm just making random stuff these days, if I'm being completely honest with you. But if you want to see more of Handsome Fridge's work, including this map pack, I'll have a link to that in the description below. Otherwise, I encourage you to check out Tapestry of Stones. I have a video of it on my channel as well. And it's a pretty cool little deal. So if you want to know what else Handsome Fridge is about, go ahead and check that stuff out. I highly encourage it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.